Let's get honest. Most people aren't trapped by circumstances. They're trapped by hesitation. Deep down, they know they can change, but the unknown feels heavier than the pain they already know. That's why they repeat the same routine, the same excuses, the same maybe next time. But here's the truth. Growth doesn't come wrapped in comfort. It arrives as confusion, resistance, even fear. You don't rise by knowing exactly how. It starts the moment you stop settling. Breakdowns happen just before breakthroughs. The moment you feel stuck might actually be the doorway. You're not too late. You're just one brave decision away from momentum. Don't wait for a sign. Be the signal. If you keep doing what's safe, you'll keep getting what's small. This is why so many people choose stuck over change. The job they hate, the relationship that drains them, the self-talk that cripples them. It's painful, yes, but it's familiar. And the brain loves familiarity, even if it's toxic. Progress means confronting parts of yourself you've avoided. It means discomfort, decisions, and doubt. Most aren't stuck due to failure. They're stuck avoiding the friction required to evolve. But hear this. If you don't leave what's holding you back, it will bury your potential quietly. Comfort zones aren't safe. They're seductive traps that rob you of your fire. The price of staying the same is far greater than the risk of trying. You weren't born to repeat. You were built to rise. So stand in the fear. That's where your future begins. They stay busy but not effective. They check emails, scroll endlessly, run errands. But they never build anything that moves them forward. Why? Because busyness masks fear. If you stay in motion, you don't have to face the silence that asks, "What am I doing with my life?" But motion isn't meaning. You can spend your whole life climbing a ladder that's leaning on the wrong wall. Real progress comes when your actions align with your purpose, not when they simply fill the time. You don't need a longer to-do list. You need a bolder vision. Every minute you waste in false movement is energy stolen from your evolution. So pause, reflect, then rebuild. Don't get lost in motion. Get obsessed with meaning. Every excuse you give starts in the mind. I'm not ready. I don't have enough experience. What if I fail? These thoughts aren't facts. They're filters. You see life not as it is, but as you are. If your belief system is wired to protect your ego, you'll reject anything that threatens it, even growth. But the truth is, most limits are illusions, taught by fear and repetition. If you want to move, you've got to challenge the narrative playing in your head. Replace "I can't" with "What if I could?" and everything begins to shift. The mind is a battlefield. Either you dominate it, or it defines your destiny. You're not stuck because of reality. You're stuck because you've surrendered to a false version of it. Rise, rewrite, reclaim. They say, "I'll start when I'm ready." But readiness is a myth. There is no perfect time, only wasted time. Waiting for clarity is often fear in disguise. Truth is, clarity comes after you act, not before. You learn the road by walking it. Every master was once a beginner. Every breakthrough was once a risk. The more you delay, the heavier your dreams become. Don't let perfectionism be your prison. Start scared. Start small. But just start. Progress begins when your desire outweighs your doubt. Most people aren't lacking ability. They're drowning in hesitation. The only way out is through. Take one step, even if your hands shake. The future doesn't arrive. It's built by messy, beautiful, imperfect action. They ask others, "Do you think I can do it?" hoping someone else's belief will fuel their own. But real change isn't a performance. It's a personal revolution. When your confidence depends on approval, your progress will always be limited by someone else's doubts. Most people don't rise because they're too busy trying to be understood, accepted, liked. But freedom begins when you stop needing applause to believe in yourself. Don't wait for others to cheer for your journey. They might not understand it, and they don't have to. What matters is that you know the direction, even if you walk it alone. Validation is external. Transformation is internal. Chase the second, and the first will follow, or it won't, and you'll rise anyway. You weren't meant to be understood. You were meant to evolve. If you're stuck, it's likely because you're still clinging to who you used to be. The habits, roles, relationships, and mindsets that once protected you may now be what's suffocating you. Most people avoid transformation because it feels like a kind of death, and it is. But every version of your future self requires the sacrifice of your current one. If you want to rise, you must be willing to outgrow your own reflection. It hurts, yes, but that's the signal you're shedding layers. Stop trying to evolve without letting go. You cannot carry everything and still climb. Let the old stories burn. Let the outdated expectations die. You were never meant to stay the same. It's not ego death, it's soul rebirth. Before awareness, you didn't know better. But now you see the cycles, the self-sabotage, the fears hiding behind your excuses. That means staying stuck isn't unfortunate. It's intentional. Painful truth, right? But also powerful. Because if you chose it, you can unchoose it. The moment you stop blaming circumstances and start owning your mindset, you become dangerous, in the best way. No one is coming to save you, but that's not bad news. It means you are the one. You are the solution. Let that sink in. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's your key to freedom. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need radical honesty and relentless action. Own it all, and rise from it. We always find time for what truly matters. If you haven't moved in months or years, it's not your schedule, it's your standards. You've accepted being stuck as normal, but nothing changes until something becomes non-negotiable. When you decide that staying stuck is no longer an option, time bends to your will. You start waking earlier, thinking deeper, cutting distractions, demanding more. That urgency? It changes everything. Comfort keeps people sleeping. But urgency wakes them up. Life doesn't wait. Your potential doesn't pause. Either you act now or regret later. There's no third option. Let your frustration fuel you. Let your dreams irritate your current life until you have no choice but to evolve. You're not out of time. You're out of excuses. Fear marks the path. It always has. That's why most people stay stuck. They turn around the moment fear shows up. But fear is not your enemy. It's your compass. The more afraid you feel about doing something meaningful, the more necessary it probably is. Your dreams live on the other side of that resistance. Don't numb it. Lean in. Every time you take action despite fear, it weakens. Every time you avoid it, it grows. The stuck life is built from 1,000 quiet avoidances. But so is the rising life. Only it's built from 1,000 small acts of courage. Be brave, not because it's easy, but because it's right. And remember, you never escape fear by running. You defeat it by rising.